Black Ice, heralded pretty much as the second coming of Jesus by a lot of the community of this game. It's finally out, and it's horrible. Well, I knew it was going to be horrible, and I'll explain why later. But, safe to say, I will go over why this mod is not good, and why no one should like it. And if you cannot infer from my, obviously, little tone over here, I'm not exactly happy with how some people receive this mod, because in my opinion, it shadows from a lot better mods that are out there. And before you say that I'm against mods, you can go look at my channel. I've got tons of mod reviews, and many modders have come to me and said, oh yeah, thanks for reviewing my mods, etc, etc. You're doing good work, whatever. And yeah, Black Ice is not exactly what I would like to call a good mod. It is one mod that sort of goes by the principle of we can add things, so we should, without any regard to actually the game. Now, why am I so mad about it? It's because I've already told you that since it actually detracts from other mods in some regard, it actually hurts, indirectly, people who are working towards making good mods, and people who are working towards making reasonable mods, and people who like to enjoy those mods because they have to deal constantly with people bragging on about Black Ice, which is very, very annoying because the mod has a sort of a cult status from Hearts of Iron 3. Now, I didn't play Hearts of Iron 3, so I do not know how the mod is in Hearts of Iron 3. However, I'm gonna go over quickly why the mod is so terrible. Now, obviously, the tech tree is plenty more evidence. There's already from the tech tree, you can see that it's just incredibly disorganized. There is absolutely no ways to infer what these things actually mean. Obviously, on the left side, I'll explain why all this is not applicable. And obviously, as you can see from the Infantry tech tree, you have to research and produce uniforms and boots. And they had also the really bright idea to make certain that, for example, there was a desert warfare equipment, which made you get a desert support unit. And he also made the excellently bright idea to have amphibious equipment, and mountain equipment, and paratrooper equipment, all separate from infantry equipment and support equipment, which obviously are supposed to be, in the normal game, what you use to make those units, because essentially they are using the same equipment as regular troops, just trained differently, so that is why they are different. But for some reason, the creators of this mod decided that it was just such a good idea to complicate that for absolutely no reason. And before you say historical accuracy or whatever, that's nonsense. That's simply nonsense, because there is historical accuracy and there is sort of gameplay reasons, because sometimes having different equipment for your singular man troop doesn't really make the fact that you're gonna have to now make more clicks to actually do essentially the same thing as you were doing before. The fact that it's slightly more historically accurate, because yes, of course, some mountain divisions are equipped differently than some infantry divisions, because obviously they have to have equipment for mountain warfare. But that does not mean that it has to be necessarily put into the production and research system of the game. In fact, there is a mod called Improved Equipment, which does all these three things, the airborne, mountain, and amphibious equipment. It adds a new area in the tech tree, separated from the rest, so already it's more understandable, because it's in a separate area. And then it has you research certain techs, for example, camouflage gear, mountain equipment, that kind of stuff, which actually gives a flat bonus to your troops. And while that, you may say, oh, but you don't produce it, that's kind of a necessary abstraction, because what are you going to do? You're going to simulate producing everything? You're going to simulate, like, having your troops just be sent lighters from the front so they can have a cigarette? What is this nonsense? Also, Like, it's a bit ridiculous how you have to build uniforms. Like, what is the reasoning? What is the reasoning? Seriously, what is the reasoning? There's no reasoning. Now, the division designer has been obviously expanded to accommodate for all this new stuff, and some of them make sense. Some of the changes make sense. Some of the other changes don't really make sense. I'll go about it more in Infantry. If we go to support battalions, you can see that they have differentiated between motorcycle recon and cavalry recon, and also just recon company. I'm not sure as to obviously what is supposed to be the difference, because yeah, okay, you're gonna produce motorcycles, you're gonna produce horses. Really? Cavalry equipment? Why would there be cavalry equipment? There is no reason for cavalry equipment to be in the game. It's literally infantry equipment plus horses plus, I don't know, whatever you need to ride a horse. It does not make any sense for it to be in the game. And motorcycle recon also doesn't make any sense to be separated from normal support equipment, because if you go read the description of normal support equipment in the game, it says that it's also light vehicles such as jeeps and motorcycles for recon troops. Which, yes, it was a thing to have motorcycles be a recon unit, sort of motor vehicle, but why would it be a different little production? Why? There is no reason. It's just to make it more complicated. Then the flamethrower squad. Why would there be a flamethrower squad? In the normal game, flamethrowers are pretty clearly under support equipment. They are under engineers, because engineers give you increased attack against fortifications, which is what flamethrowers are for. And what is the point of putting a flamethrower unit that you can then add to your divisions? And this is partially getting to another point. Some people say it's more historically accurate, and in some regards, maybe. But in some other regards, then it isn't historically accurate, because there was no, in the order of battle of divisions, there was no flamethrower.